Fair morn to you. I am Zyx'gra'mus, and I am a wizard. I am Zyx'gra'mus. I have many titles, but the only one you need worry about at this time is that I am the head of the Department of Thaumaturgy at the University in Darkenhaven. I have been commissioned to answer questions gathered up by the worm that runs the conduit through which I speak to other worlds. This one has set forth to gather me questions, which I may answer to fill in the void of ignorance that dwells either about my magical world of Zyathe, or magic, or existence in general. I quiver in anticipation for the wisdom that those asking the questions will demonstrate as I am reading them. So, I will commence. The first question, of course, comes from one known as Jim of the land of Hibbs. The question is as such: what does a naughtymancer actually do, and to what or whom does he do it? The term naughtymancer is a bit of cute wordplay, nothing more. It seems that my business attire, when I am out and about, delving in etheric runes, tends to hearken to the attire commonly worn by those of dire intent, warlocks, necromancers. It's just that it is so much more comfortable and, quite honestly, a fair bit of magical fabric out there that seems to suit a particular sentiment. I assure you that it is very comfortable and practical in the consideration of adventuring, or the occasional mishaps which may happen in a school full of precocious students who have far too many gifts that they feel they must waste them on tricks and annoyances. There's not enough detention time for all of them, I assure you. But in regards to my approach, I may not be as honorable as some who are deemed as heroes, or those to be looked upon with great respect, admiration. But we all choose our paths of power, or have them chosen for us. I chose mine, grasped it with my own hands, and made it my own. That is something that is afforded to few, to truly be the master of their own power. Some few do appreciate this, and while they may not be as enamored with my techniques, or perhaps the path which I have taken to get to this point, they still respect me, which has allowed me to ascend to the position which I now hold, a tenured professor accorded the respect due to my station, influencing the young minds who come to learn the craft of the manipulations of the Zyathe, magic in all of its wondrous forms. To understand it is to understand the universe around you. But to know magic as some do, the good and honorable wizards, my peers, they blind themselves. They refuse to acknowledge that some paths may hold greater power than they can surmise, but it scares them. What must be sacrificed, what must be dared, what must be claimed. Sometimes the price does not seem to be worth it to them. The greater fools they prove themselves to be. So, I am no necromancer. I am, however, one who has paths that others may shun, and that has dubbed me as not evil, not to be disparaged, but to be respected, even if you do not revere the paths that I have taken or some of the deeds that I have done. I am still helpful, always, and to those with the wisdom, a counsel to be sought after, and occasionally is this partner whose mind can match just about anyone's. So that is what it is to be a naughty mancer. To dare much, much more than other weaker ones would. To whom do I naughty mance? The answer is, to whomever I wish. And do not necessarily think that the boundaries between existences are the limits of my reach. Whomever I wish is a great number indeed. Yes. Next question. This one also came from Jim of the land of Hibs. Apparently, there's a dearth of people with inquisitive minds in your world. How sad. This question is, really, how many knots can a naughty mancer mance, if a naughty mancer could mance knots? I imagine you think you're very clever. Yes. Sorry. I guess those should have been for you, but maybe the great and powerful goo will know anyway. I see where this is coming from now. This is another move to break me from Alphinius Goo. That troublesome goody-do-goos has been both a worthy as this opponent, to give him credit, and a wizard of no small regard. One of the few whom I consider to be a peer of mine. But the answer to your silly little question, Jim of the land of Hibs. A naughty mancer might mance as many knots as he could manse, if a naughty mancer could manse knots. I shall assume that Elphinius put you up to that question and move on to the next question. This one blessedly comes from another. This one comes from one Zyx'gra'mus. Someone familiar. Perhaps they did not have to go outside of Zyathe at all for this one. Can he, assuming me, mass produce the little nightmares or other miniature creatures, and can I manage that part of the business? I guarantee regular work incidents. Some may even be lethal. As if I am a common tradesman of trinkets. I'm assuming you are referring to my small skeletal familiar. Yes, I am no necromancer, but I have discerned how, by unraveling certain etheric secrets, how to ensnare a spirit, bond it into a form that is not living, and have it serve you as a familiar. A pair of eyes and ears, when they still have them, that can be very, very useful. Perhaps you have even seen my small skeletal dragon companion. Very useful. Very useful. But these are not mass-produced. Do you think I am some artificer scrabbling about for my golds? I think not. It is a tool, nothing more. And as for you, Zyx'gra'mus, I could put you to some use, certainly. In fact, I'm gathering the talent that I need for another delve into some etheric runes that have come to my notice in far-off Sundestia. If you'd like to earn a tidy sum of golds for daring to come with me in what might be your life's greatest adventure, to the betterment of yourself, both in the experiences that you will take back with you that may make you stronger and fitter, the wealth that you will certainly uncover, and for the greater knowledges of that fallen culture that we might bring back to be celebrated with the great scholars of our world. Perhaps you might be worth taking with. I admire your initiative. But as far as crafting familiars, I don't think so. Now, if you can somehow change the way that people feel about certain things dwelling amongst them, one of the advantages the etheric civilization had is that there were pockets of the civilization that did not have the stigmas that our Darkenhaven, and indeed most of the kingdoms and lands of the Destia, it seemed to have a certain amount of discomfort in the same space as that which was once dead but now moves and is animated. If that attitude could be changed, I have a few clever little trinkets, which might be very profitable to find another to assist me in making. A side venture, nothing more. If you are still around when such things become more palatable, perhaps I would consider taking you on and making quite a small fortune between us. We shall see. That appears to be all of the questions that I have been tasked with. I admit I thought there would be many more. Perhaps, if I am commissioned to do this again, perhaps there will be more questions forthcoming, and something a bit more taxing of my enormous intellect and knowledge of the ways and natures of magic, of Zyathe, of the universe. Perhaps you will think harder and give me better questions, and more questions next time. For those of you, Gregnik and Jim, of Rajid and Hibbs respectively, I do thank you, as it is customary for those who put forth some effort to be thanked for their work. Perhaps you have more questions for me, eh? We shall see. Until that next time, I am Zyx'gra'mus, and I shall see you again in the future. I have foreseen it. Until that time, farewell.